Hi guys, it's me Zim, and welcome to another Storytime video. I haven't done one of these in a long time, solely because of the fact that there wasn't really much has been happening lately. Aside from a couple months of time has passed, and a few things have been happening. This Storytime is basically based off of a friend. You may know him, Lone Wolf CP, also known as GIO. Me and a friends of mine call him. He's a good friend, and I'm gonna tell his story, his side of the story, because there's a reason why I'm doing the story time. And not that, also to give a small life update because things have been changing lately, and I've been happy to announce a lot of cool things. But that'll be after the story. So, briefly after we got out of high school, me and Geo were, well, we've been talking a lot, having some fun. Same thing for David, Mini Mike TV, or MIK3 if you know him for his music. And we were just having a fun time doing our own thing. Let's just say after a while of, hanging out for like most of the remainder of the year and partial of 2019, he up and disappeared. And I haven't seen him for like a long time just because of that. And now I am just sitting here wondering like where he's at, what he's been doing. And come to find out, he found out that he, let's just say, he found someone online that he could talk to. He found a significant other. I'm not going to name names. No, I'm not going to give away anything, any personal information. But he's been gone because of that. Now, like any other friend, you wouldn't think anything of it. But when when you've only seen him one time on the bus ride to college, and that's what happened. In 2019, I was in college, and during the bus ride, I was falling asleep, and then he ended up showing up, and he started like talking with me, saying, "Hey, everything's good. I'm just going to work and everything like that." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool. That's great. I'm happy that's the case." But the problem was, like after that, I never saw him again. I just thought like, oh, he must be really busy or he doesn't have a like decent phone. Because back then his phone was garbage. Literally, his phone couldn't hold a call for its life, and it would die really fast. Not all submission. He's also known as the poor life choice kind of guy. Now, no, I don't say this in like a mean manner. I say it in a joking manner because he does do some things, and we do joke around and say, "Dude, that was like a poor life choice on your hand," but it wasn't entirely that bad. He just needed to know better, which he did. He usually learns from the situation. Fast forward, I am about to graduate college, get my AA, and I see that he's on Messenger, Facebook Messenger to be exact. So I decided to message him. And I told him, "Hey, bro, it's been a long while since we talked. I haven't heard you in a minute, and I'm kind of worried for your how you're doing. You've ghosted us for this long, and I want to know if you're doing all right." And so I just sent the message and nothing of it. About a few hours later, after I was getting done with classwork, I get a text message saying, "Hey, I'm all right. I was just busy doing some things. Do you mind if I call you the next day?" And this was also during the time when I was taking my siblings to school. So I was like, okay, sure. You can call me the next day. I got nothing better to do. I'm about to graduate anyway. I only got one class left. And so that was that. Next day happens. I finished the remainder of my classwork for college. And that also means that I was going to be graduating soon to get my AA. He hits me up with a call after I drop my sister off. And he then starts telling me, hey, I need some help. I'm like, what do you mean help? I'm very limited on the matter. And he's like, well, I've got kicked out of my significant other's house. And I'm like, huh? Wait, hold on. What happened? Oh, let's just say we put the ring on our finger. And I'm like, what? Wait, hold on. You were thinking about marrying this person, right? He's like, yeah, I just wanted to shoot something big. And this is his biggest problem. I love Gio like a brother. He's like another brother from another mother. He literally is. If I could adopt him, yeah, I would adopt him. But I don't have that kind of money. But at the same time, it is. I love him with a passion. He's a good friend, great friend. But the problem is that he shoots too big when he's trying to do something. When he called me about the whole significant other thing, he was having so many problems of saying that he needed to, like, basically the in the household it was rough, really rough, and he needed some help really, really badly. Like he had nowhere to go, nowhere to do. The only thing I could do was talk to him because at this point I didn't have anything to assist him with. No money, don't have a license, so I can't drive out to go get him. Can't do any of this, can't do any of that. The only thing I do was talk, keep him sane, at least reassure him that he's all right. And then the little birdie decided to fly around and it caught wind, and then the message got sent out to David. David, he has a job, had a car, and money, and he was willing to assist Gio as much as he could. And so he did that. When Gio managed to get himself down here, he literally, David literally hit him up, drove her to where he needed to go, and was helping him out. Now, things were going great at first. After we assisted him with the problems that he was having, me with pep talk, and David with like the remainder, and all along with his pep talk, things started to turn around. He went back to his family, doesn't have a car anymore, but he managed to get a job, and he's going to therapy. Then things started going downhill again. He secretly was getting it back together with this chick, and we kept telling him, dude, you gotta stop. Even your family's concerned about you. Their way of thinking is garbage, but you need to actually go out of your way and just tell them, hey, this is not this is not what you should be doing. This is not the way of life. You're shooting too high, and now you're getting shot down really fast. And the biggest problem is that every time we try to get his attention about it to like try and assist him, he would say, "Yeah, cool. I'll keep that in mind." But then he would just forget about it, and it would be another bout trying to get him to understand that the situation he's in is not good. Now, fast forward, I believe maybe a few months, and he is in a very bad pickle. It's December, it's cold, and you may not think Florida can get cold, but Florida can get cold. There have been times where it literally got below 20 at some point in Florida. As a matter of fact, there was one time in Florida where it snowed before the weather kind of took an L and just got rid of snow entirely. So, yeah, it it Florida can get uber cold, especially considering the fact that I actually decided to take an L for a letter grade back in high school for PE because I'll be damned if I'm gonna be wearing gym shorts and a thin shirt for gym in 20 below degree weather. Like literally 20 and below. I'm not doing that. That is a waste of time, and that could potentially get me sick or hypothermia or killed. I mean, yeah, you need a lot of. It needs to be a lot lower to potentially get hypothermia, but still, I never understood why some of the students would wear the clothes in this cold weather. And it doesn't help the fact that they freaking have the AC in most of the classrooms uber cold. So literally, it's just what is the point? It's cold out and you have the AC on. What are you trying to do? Oh, it's supposed to keep you awake. No, that makes me sleepy. Because if I'm cold, that means my body's shutting down. That means I'm gonna miss out on important information, and that means I could potentially not wake up if it's too cold. So aside from that small tangent, but yeah, it was December. It's getting pretty cold, and David hit me with the news. He was minding his own business at home, talking with his girlfriend, and all of a sudden he gets a call from Gio. And he told his girlfriend, "Hey, I gotta answer this. Gio's calling me," and she understood. He called, answered the phone, and Gio said, "Hey, yo, how you doing? Then they start having a conversation, saying, "Yeah, we're doing fine. What about you?" Gio said that he didn't. Got kicked out of the house, and then David was very confused as to why. And then come to find out, he was still trying to get back with this chick, even after we told him for the second time, dude, this isn't the case. So this is the third time. This is the third stab in the heart right now. And he is very, and I mean very, in the rut right now for two reasons. Reason one, it's cold. It's December. You got kicked out at the worst time possible. You're going to sit out at night when it's the coldest and sleep on a cold bench with the weather like that, with nothing to cover you other than your clothes. Why did you get into this situation? Even David was confused. He was wondering why he was got into the situation in the first place. Well, Gio said, "You know what? I'm just gonna, I'll go by your guys' word, and I'm gonna do your thing." Then, after Gio managed to get back in the good books with his family, he decided to get back into gaming with us, which is a good thing. I kind of missed playing games with him, GTA 5 especially. Even though I don't play the game often, it's nice to see him in there doing his thing. But one moment, one afternoon, or actually one night, David, Gio, and I think the rest of the gang were playing, and then all of a sudden, Gio's ex-fiance popped in, and she said, "Hey, I want to hang out with you guys." Now they didn't think anything of it, didn't really give a damn. David didn't care, even though he knew what the problem was. He didn't care. David's girlfriend didn't care because she knew that nothing was gonna bad happen since they were like parted ways and such like stuff like that. And let's get into the fact that aside from that, let's see, she wasn't really doing anything suspicious, especially considering the fact that it was for the better for Gio to just like just be friends with her. Don't try anything serious. And then this is when all hell broke loose because literally after they played a session, David got hit up by his fiance, by Gio's ex fiance, starting flirting with him and doing other weird things. And he didn't think anything of it. He didn't care. He told his girlfriend. Girlfriend was confused as well. And he didn't think anything of it. They didn't think anything of it. But after a while of that, then things started to get a little crazy. I'm not going to go into detail because it's a little too much, but it's just something we're not going to say out loud. But let's just say that things got so bad, quite literally, that um, David literally had to hit Gio up privately and tell him, "Hey, you need to literally ignore this chick. You need literally to cut her off from your life because it's starting to get very serious and it's starting to get very concerning for my end." And Gio was like, "Okay, sure thing. I'll do what I can." And lo and behold, one day he's at church with her, and then he meets up with this random dude in the church. Now you could be like, "Well, that's really nothing special. What's so special about this?" But if someone in my comment section who watches the video knows, they know. This random dude wasn't just some random dude. I'm not mentioning him just because of that. I'm mentioning him because of the fact that this dude actually has a correlation to the story. Gio shook hands with the guy. They talked, had a nice conversation, and then at one point, I believe, uh, they were at the conversation. The dude asked, "Hey, who are you to this person?" To her, and he was talking about his ex fiance. And it's like, "Well, I'm her boyfriend or fiance for that matter." Dude looked at him with the straightest face on the planet that made you go, "Oof." Just a little bit, just a tad. But but the thing is though, he went white. He himself went completely white when he said that. And so you're probably wondering like, "Oh, that doesn't sound good." And it didn't because it didn't because When they got back to the house, Gio was minding his own business, you know, having a nap, doing his own thing, and then all of a sudden, he his ex fiance comes charging in, and he says, "Hey," and she's upset, she's bawling, she's mad, and she says, "Hey, I kind of I got a confession to make. That guy that you shook hands with, he just yelled at me on the phone because I slept with him, and he didn't know that you were my boyfriend." At that point, Gio just did what any guy who's had enough but is too mad to actually get upset to literally, like, he did what every person would do who's too mad to get upset when something like this happens. He literally stood up, stared her directly in the face with the calmest demeanor on the planet, and asked for his ring back. Just a simple question. May I have my ring back? She gave it to him. He left, and he pawned the ring off. And she's now cut ties with her, and that is good. And since that's the case, it's actually kind of funny because there was that one point where Gio got very sentimental when they were playing games with David, and he kind of said, "Oh man, I bet she's like cheating or something like that." And then that's 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 what actually turned out, which was very upsetting for him. But at least he got that out of the way and he's good. Now we're gonna go into the other big kick in the balls that he did earlier this following weeks, maybe up to this month. Gio decided to be the bigger man and get another one of his big ideas again. What was his big idea? Getting a house. Now you're probably wondering, what's it about getting a house? Well, getting a house means you'll be able to live on your own, do your own things, and not be able to be in the hair of your family. I'm not ready for a house. Matter of fact, the house that I'm in is perfectly fine. My family loves me, and a lot of things have been going on. And this is where I get into the part where I talk about what's going on personally. Um, One, aside from graduating, I now have a job. So now I can pay for things, buy things, do all sorts of stuff. It's basically, the benefits of having a job. I get paid. I give my dad $100 for groceries, and the rest of the money is mine. I put most of it. I put a good portion to it in savings, and I keep the remainder on me for when I go out with my friends or I want to go buy something. Like, I don't know, a new pair of shoes, maybe. Like recently, I just bought this new headset. I also bought a new set of Skullcandy headphones. I bought a fair amount of video games, and for me and a friend of mine. And I've just been enjoying life ever since I got this job. Things have been a lot more fun, and I've been also knowing how to manage my money because I've been very stingy. Even though I do buy a lot of stuff, I've been very stingy. I don't like having uh my card, my debit card, to have at least below $100, but I don't like having it above $200. If you catch my drift, if it's above 200, you put it in savings or spend a good portion of it, then put the rest in savings, and then keep the 200, because if I have to do something later on, then I won't have to worry about, being strapped for cash. And I also recently bought a new lawnmower, so that's also another thing. So aside from getting a job, I've been enjoying YouTube lately. I've been trying to post every Saturday, and I've been doing that for a pretty good job lately. But I kind of had to slow down a little bit because of my job, and not to mention I have friends that I want to hang out with and chores and stuff like that. Most of the stuff gets put on the side because of my job. And that's basically it. I've been enjoying myself lately, and I've been getting paid to with an actual job for once. But aside from that, that's basically what's been going on my end. That's also the reason why some videos haven't been posted on Saturday and stuff like that. I also been hanging out with my friends a lot on Saturday too. David especially, considering the fact that he wanted to hang out anyways. But the reason why I mentioned this job whole thing is because that's my big step. Gio's big step, however, was to go out of his way to get a house. And I was like, cool, that's awesome. He's renting a house, and it's a 3 bedroom, 2 bath, which is actually pretty damn good. And he said that uh, at least 4 of us, maybe 5, can actually hang out at the house, and we get to like do things like pay rent and do menial chores and pay for certain bills. Gio said he would pay for the water and electricity since they're separate, and me, David, and anybody else who joins in would pay for the rent bill. Just rent. That's about it. However, there were multiple red flags for this house rental. One of the red flags was one. This came out of nowhere because one of my friends, and you may know him, Dark Shadow Wub, he was planning on getting a house himself. And he just hasn't been getting enough money to be able to get the house. And the reason why is because the company was going under. So he had to go into a different company now. And that's been on hold for a while. Two, the second red flag. Gio came out of nowhere with this house rental idea. Even David was like, "Yo, this house rental idea seems very sketch. Where did you get this, and how did you come about it?" Well, um, come to find out, Gio actually was looking around online to see if there's any houses for him to, like, go into and try to, you know, get involved with, see if he can get a home for himself and stuff. Well, that's when the candy fell out of the bag and everything just hit the fan at this point. Because false, or as I say, red flag number 2, he decided to pay for this house with physical paper money cash. Usually you would pay a house with a check because it's a paper trail. It's tracked. So you don't have to worry about having, to like get scammed or stuff like that. And if you do, you can hunt the guy down and then like sue him or like just get the money back from there. Now, he paid paper money. Now you're probably wondering, is like, okay, so those are the 3 red flags. Something tells me you're building up to a bigger one. So big that literally this is like the fattest red flag that we'll ever hear ever. And it's not really that big, but at the same time, it is big to the situation. He found this house on Facebook Marketplace. Now, if you don't know Facebook, or if you don't know what Facebook Marketplace is, or if you don't use Facebook at all and you just don't know in general, here's the rundown. Facebook Marketplace is basically a place on Facebook where you can go and sell or buy stuff that people don't want or just want to give away because they need the money. Now, you could think as Facebook Marketplace as watered down Craigslist. Now, the reason why I say watered down Craigslist is because at least Craigslist, you don't do wads of cash and you have to have a paper trail. Not to mention Craigslist, it may have a lot of creepy people, but at least they have the opportunity of actually giving you the product that they have. Yeah, like they can give it to you, some creepy guy hits you up, and you literally can just buy whatever you need off of them and then go. It's nothing that bad. The reason why I say reason why I say Craigslist is better is because Facebook Marketplace is uber scam central. Like literally, anybody says, "Oh, Amazon's a scam." Oh, Amazon sellers are scams. Oh, eBay sellers are scams. Oh, Craigslist sellers are scams. Nah, Craigslist at least you can actually conjure up a paper trail. Amazon has legitimate buyers and sellers, and not to mention eBay also has the same thing, but also they demand a paper trail as well, so you don't end up getting scammed. Because there was an issue back in the day when people were getting scammed a shit ton on eBay, and people didn't like that, and it ruined their lives mostly. So Facebook Marketplace does not have a paper trail option. Most people can get away with just making you have to pay physical actual cash. And the problem I have with that is, since GIO paid actual real life money, physical money, for renting this place out, the price for it also was a big red flag. It was 12, maybe $1,400 to pay for to rent out the house. Now you're probably wondering, damn, that's a steal. What kind of house is that? It was in the middle, it was at the very end of a ghetto, next to a graveyard that's also next to a church. If you don't see all these big red flags, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Let's also not get into the fact that aside from these red flags, and him paying for money, GIO didn't realize that this was potentially a scam. Because one day, and he messaged David about this. I don't know why he doesn't message me, but then again, he knows I'm working, so I'm not on my phone most of the time. One day, he's out online looking for stuff, and he found the exact same house being sold for the exact same price on a completely different site. And then he realized he paid paper money, and he's out of money. And now he's lost about a good $1,800. And if you don't know money lingo, if you're too young to know money lingo, or if you uh, actually don't know much about how money works, 1,800 is basically me saying $1,800, and 1,800 is a pretty steep price. Especially considering the fact that he could have used that money to buy himself something that could, have him hang out with us more, like a PC or a better Xbox or maybe a car. But no, he decided to buy a house that was a potential scam, and it was a scam, and so he's out of $1,800. So, and David went ballistic on this man. Not too much to the point where he was fuming mad, but he was more of a quiet, silent mad. Like how I get, where I start to get slightly loud, but at the same time I'm understanding, but I'm greatly disappointed in you. Like, quite literally, what in your right mind told you, hey, I'm gonna pay for this house, and I'm not gonna actually look into the house issue. I'm just gonna pay for it and call it a day. That's. And if GIO ever sees this video, listen, dude, I love you like a brother. You're one of the best freaking people I've ever met. You taught me a lot of things. You taught me self-defense. You've taught me to toughen up. You've taught me that when life gets you down, you can always get back up from it. You also taught me that not everything is what it seems, and you have to make the most of it. You also taught me to just keep on going when the wounds get rough. And you also hang out with me when we were freaking just, being ourselves and having fun. There was literally one time me and him hung out. We stayed the night, and this was like a long weekend. Dude, literally freaking, we hang out and play Black Ops 1 freaking bot multiplayer together, split screen, like a bunch of freaking idiots while we were sick as a dog. We even played some zombies too. We played zombies for like so long to the point where we stopped being sick for some reason. I don't know what happened. It was just an adventure, to say the least. But aside from that, I just believe that GIO, if you ever see this video, we love you like a bro, but you need to learn when things seem too good to be true. Like especially considering the fact that you thought you found a girl on Facebook that would be your love of your life. Turned out she was something other than that. And it ruined a good portion. Got you kicked out of the house, added stress, and you need to go to therapy. You thought you could buy a house, and then find out the house was an utter scam. You lost money. You lost time. You lost precious time with us. You lost precious time with your family. You lost precious time for yourself. You need to stop thinking about these grandiose big things that you want to do. Getting a house, getting a nice car, getting the love of your life, having kids, making a family. You need to slow down. You're in your 20s. You're younger than me. I'm 24. You're goddamn younger than me. You need to slow down and realize that you need to look back and look at yourself. Work on yourself. Because if you work on yourself, then you'll be able to go through life without problems. You'll be able to understand the ins and outs of yourself, fix some issues, and make sure that you're actually getting things out of the way without problems. Look into yourself and be sure that you can rely on yourself when things go down. That's all I have to say about that, dude. You need to look into yourself, worry about yourself. Then when the time comes, worry about your family and worry about your friends. Just make sure you're ready before you start doing things for other people. And why do you think I have a job now? I literally um, got out of college and then I have a job now. I'm able to help my family out with what I can, and so far, it's a good time. I don't think anything of it. I'm not mad about anything else. I don't stress about things. And that's another thing. For not only you, GIO, but for the viewers who are watching this video, if you watch this video, that is. I highly doubt it, since everybody enjoys other things other than me just a random dude on the internet rambling about bullshit. Don't go through your life being angry all the time. Don't have uber amounts of stress. And if when you don't have that amount of stress, also just go through life happy and not hating everything. As a YouTuber that I watched back before he changed his content around, he said that after he changed his content around, he realized that the reason why I'm not always stressed or angry or wanting to, you know, like just have anxiety is because I don't hate everything. I'm not out here hating for no reason. I'm not out here hating on people because of what they do or what they like. I'm not out hating on people because of their past and uh their beliefs. I'm not hating on people because there's no point in hating on people. There's technically no point. It just adds unnecessary stress and emotional imbalance that could potentially hurt you in the long run. That's why I don't hate people. I myself, me, the person behind the camera, I don't hate people. And the reason for that is because hating people is a waste of time. Why do you go out of your damn way to hate somebody? Do you have nothing better to do? While you're busy hating on one person just because they have a better life, that person who has a better life is already done and gone with most of the stuff they did. They have a job, have a family, got like a bunch of good stuff for them in the long run, and you're over here just hating on them for no reason when it doesn't do any damage. You literally are just sitting there pouting for no reason, and you need to cut it out because hating on people means nothing. It does not do anything. Just like how money doesn't matter, hating on people doesn't matter. I mean, yeah, sure, money does revolve the world a bit, but the problem is that money has no actual mental value. Money can't make you happy. Money can't make you get special things that'll make you even more happy. Money can't allow you to buy friendship. Money can't get you everywhere. What gets you everywhere is yourself, your spirit, your friends, and family. Money can't do that. Because all money can do is buy stuff. That's about it. And pay for things. Like insurance and gas and stuff. It's only meant to just buy things. That's why I myself, even though I am saving up money in my account, money does not have a value to me. There's no value concept to me when it comes to money. I don't see any typical reason why you should focus on trying to get all the money. Sure, yeah, having a good amount of money can actually get you somewhere. Once you have that money, you're good. That's why when people say, "Oh, I got a job, I'm already happy as is," that's me right there. I have the job, I have money. The money doesn't mean much, so I just use the money for what I want to do. I'm not paying any bills, I'm not paying rent. The only thing I pay is $100 for my dad's groceries, and that's about it. I'm not concerned about money. I'm concerned about the well-being of myself, my family, and friends. That's why I'm not hating on people, and that's why I'm never worried about things that are going on in the outside world, other than what's going on now on the news, which I don't watch because the news is utter bullshit. So yeah, I know this story time was rather long. I do apologize for that. It's just I just wanted to get that out of the way, off my chest. But aside from that, I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. And the next video that I will release will probably be another Yakuza video or another video with me and a friend of mine playing some games. I recently recorded some Earth Defense Force 4.1 with him, and I'm planning on doing some other games too. We'll probably do Divinity Original Sin, and then when we finish that, we'll probably play some Baldur's Gate 3. But aside from that, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and stay tuned for some more content down the line. I'll see you guys next time.